Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to today's show, News for You podcast with me, your host, Stephen Fahy. I'll be with you today answering three basic questions. How to be happy in 2024, what's happening in the podcast industry, and also a nice little 5-minute workout with me, something we can all do at home. So, welcome everybody from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, Instagram, and of course, my famous TikTok viewers. Right. Now, most of my social media content, I've done a lot of videos last year. Learning to be happy, I've done a series on it, a course I created. Um, how do we be happy in 2024? It's like the magic question, right? Everybody's going to have a different story, a different vision. New year, new career, get in the gym, join a membership, let's start the spark, all that kind of stuff. But learning to be happy for me personally is more finding out what I'm good at, okay, what my goals I think might be. Sometimes there is a mismatch between what we think we're good at and the goals we want to do. Because, for instance, I wish I could press a button and be a qualified counselor right now so I can truly help people with their mental health. But sadly, it does take a couple of years to qualify. I'm on that journey. I'm learning a lot. It's exciting, but I want it to happen faster because I'm so keen. So sometimes we want things in life, and I think that can play heavy on our mental health because sometimes we're so stressed. We're looking forward to a holiday. For instance, for me, in 4 weeks' time, I go away to Ireland only for a weekend to see a good friend of mine. I'm excited about that. I haven't been abroad. It's only Ireland, right? But I'm happy about that. And I think in life, we need things to look forward to, right? And that's for everybody. We need things to make us happy. So we can't all afford a holiday. It's a cheap budget holiday for me. The flights were good. And I feel good about that. And I think in life, we need to feel good about things we're doing because sometimes I get it. Stress can knock you up in the face and hit you down. And you think, you know what? I didn't expect that. And that's sad, okay? Because we didn't really see it coming. And, last year I've spoken about this before. I had a couple of seizures. I put it all into perspective. I took rest. I feel better. I'm recharged. I'm happy. I'm excited about 2024. How did I get to that level? How did I think, well, how am I going to be happy in 2024? And for me personally, it's doing things every day, even simple things like waking up in the morning and making my bed and getting stability in my life. That for me really works. And I think that's a lot more fruitful and happy because I can build. Being a former reservist in the British Army, I learned a lot about self-discipline, and I think that's a really good key word for 2024: self-discipline. How do we increase our own self-discipline moving into a new year? Because we all want new best things. Maybe you want more money, you want more business, you want to start a business, you want a new career. How do we get to that level where we've got like a routine on a daily basis that's going to lead on to a better future? And I think for me, it starts off, and I spoke about this on Monday's show, I think, when I was talking about SWOT analysis. Those of you on LinkedIn will be very familiar with your SWOT analysis. When you take a skills assessment and you look at yourself and you think, how do I reassess myself, understand what I'm good at? And I shared it on my TikTok account, a really good episode from the Diary of CVO from Stephen Bartlett. There was an expert on the show, and it's talking about 1st of January being that time where we all want to create new things up here. And then one of the best ways we can do that is by getting literally a pen and paper. And then drawing out, and that's what I was talking about on Monday. TikTokers, you can see that you've got strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I'll keep reminding people in January about this system that I use. Everybody uses it, but not everyone is taught it. UK education system, we're pretty good on the SWOT analysis. It gets taught to us. It's there. So basically, all you do is you get a bit of paper, maybe a bit bigger than a post-it note, A4, and you just draw your cross on it. And on it, you can see your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you go left to right and you find the links, right? So if I've got a strength, for example, I feel like I've got a good communication skills. My weakness is that I don't always go for the jobs that I think I'm good at, for instance. And you go on from that. LinkedIn, I'm not going to, I'll give you a little glimpse if I can get it on camera. I don't think I can. A little bit. No, it's not working. I've got a green screen on my LinkedIn and other networks. So anyway, but in short, being happy this year is really going deeper, I believe, about finding out what you not want, right? Because your wants and desires can trick your mind. It's finding out what's safe for you, for your own mental well-being, what kind of life you want to lead this year, whether you want to improve your relationship with yourself, which is important, number one, your kids, your partner, find a new partner. You need to understand your emotions, because we can write down a whole list of things that we want to do in life and this year. And it's good that we do the paper exercise on a sheet of paper. But if we don't understand how to understand our own emotions from one day to the next, which is your emotional intelligence, then how are we going to push forward on happiness? And I think that's an important lesson. So just pause on that for a moment. So I'll try to conclude the first question I've got here. Happiness is really how you define what happiness means for you by increasing your emotional intelligence, and that is really spending more time with your thoughts, because tradition is that January is a month that we all want to go to the gym and reset our new targets, goal setting. Pen and paper is better. If you want to do it on your phone, great. A video diary, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I think that's important, because whether you're a CEO of a business or you're a founder or you're a student, you're going to have things in life that you want. And every year, as we turn into the new year, which we are right now, day 4, we say to ourselves, like, I've got goals in myself. Like, I'm trying to push out more on social media. I'm trying to build my social media strategy stronger. It's all been written down. I'm executing on it. I'm looking at the data. It's only day 4. It's been about, 10 days since I've launched this podcast. I'm going live every day. And I'll be honest with you, I was a bit nervous on going live on my other platforms, because last year when I looked at the data, I was losing followers on LinkedIn. But I'm thinking, right, are those people, if they're not interested in what I'm saying, do I really want them as a follower? And you can't help that sometimes. You've got a big audience and you can't cater for everybody. I'm not here. One great thing I watched this morning from Stephen Bartlett, I'm not here to make people happy. And his podcast is talking about, which I'll lead into in a moment, some of his podcasts got deleted because he didn't feel that the production, or sort of production, but the quality wasn't there for his audience. And I get that, and I think that's important. I am trying to help people. I do want to be liked, but at the same time, if you don't accept me for me, then I'm not going to really change things too much. I'll look at the data, but at the end of the day, my goal is to spread my wings on social media, reach new audiences, and yeah, I might lose some followers. And if my LinkedIn community are not happy with me in general, all 13,000 followers, which is not a lot really, but I've got a potential to reach some of the world's biggest companies on there. So for me, I feel comfortable doing this because no one else is doing this. No one else is going live. I'm trying to innovate, and I think that innovation is really important for you if you're a business owner, a founder, to be important going into 2024. Now, sadly, I don't think innovation is taught that well across anywhere that I've seen, whether it's be an online course, even Harvard University. I studied innovation when I was doing my master's. I backed out of it. I didn't feel like I was getting value for money. But having gone away and spent time doing my own research, I feel more comfortable. And I think That's one of the most important things that I would say to anybody. If you want to really be truly happy in this year, don't, just jump to the gun when it comes to adverts and saying that we can do this and do that. Do your own research, wherever it be, business startup, a new career, and find out what you feel up here and in your heart, what you feel comfortable with. Because, I share a story with you. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I went to the gym yesterday, or day before yesterday, before I went to the gym, and somebody sent me a direct message here on TikTok, saying they want me to be an ambassador. I looked into the app and it was okay, but the app was quite poor, and they're charging a lot of money for advice that I kind of already put out anyway. So sometimes you think, okay, that's good news, but I have to believe in the product that I'm going to be working with. And I'm sure there's going to be loads of more opportunities in the future to collaborate, get sponsors for my magazine, and hear this podcast, which is very unique because I don't put it on Spotify because I just want to do something completely different. Okay. I want to go live every day. News for you. It is a news brand, but I want to talk about things that matter in the world. And for me, and my expertise, that's business, mental health, and fitness. Those are my three core subjects. So I will be with you here daily across all my social media platforms every day, 312, minus Christmas Day maybe, but more or less every single day, okay, this year. Okay, that's my goal set. And I enjoy broadcasting and I feel happy about that. So I think I'll lead on to my podcast. Okay. What do I think is going to happen with the podcast industry this year? I think that I think it will grow. I think that on a sad note, the market is saturated. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, 100% go live. My episodes do get recorded. Whether or not they're on YouTube, you can find me, Steve Talks. It's a very small YouTube channel. I'm only on my own, so I don't have enough time to really promote it a lot, and I've got a limited budget. But the fact is, I've used that, reversed it, and said to myself, you know what? I'll go live every day across my social media platforms. I don't have a team to do all the clips. I use AI as best I can. I put out 20 plus pieces of content per day, which is quite easy for me at the moment. But I feel by go live every day, I get exposure and people find out if they like my content or not. So for me, that's really my podcast strategy in 2024 is to be a live podcast, pretty much like, going live watching a TV show. I want people to know that I show up every day at 1 p.m. UK time, and for them to understand, get to know me, my expertise. Maybe later on in a year, if the show gets a little bit more better, I get more revenue, I can start to cater in for guests, etc. But at the moment, doing this podcast like this every day, and every day I've got something new that I want to say, new I want to cover. Today, all I do literally is write out 3 questions that I think I can offer some advice, and that's my structure. It's really simple, and I think sometimes when you're thinking of starting a podcast or even a business, you can overcomplicate the idea. And the best advice I've ever read and got from was Mark Law, the online Walmart CEO. It was just to get started, because you don't know where you're gonna get your first client, get your first sponsor. And for me, I've been, going pretty long, but I started very small, and I wanted to build my expertise up first. So I know I'm a grand expert in emotional intelligence, and I hadn't even touched the surface yet, but I'm happy. I want to keep going on that and grow my magazine, grow this podcast here live, and also promote my courses, which will be a new brand soon here on TikTok, when TikTok release their new features that I can get access to. So that's really my business strategy. And I think that's important. If you're thinking of starting a podcast this year, or you look at the industry, I don't think, and there's a lot of people, and I've watched Stephen Bartlett, social media marketing manager, really hit a good point, and Stephen said this himself. With Spotify and any podcast that you put on, you don't get the share button feature. You can't get traffic automatic coming unless you're doing paid ads. You've got to get traffic coming into your show, but you can't push it out the other way. You can, there is some share buttons, but it's not really that searchable, I'd say. So the podcast industry is limited on one side because of how the search system works. And you don't really get a lot of revenue for downloads, I'd say, definitely. And one key learning point I think about sponsorship. I'm in two minds about this. I'm in two minds whether to reach out to somebody. I don't really have a big audience yet. I don't really have any facility for people to subscribe because I just go live every day. So all I'm trying to do is grow my social media channels effectively, get my core message out, and then through that experience, I'll see what brands. I've already had one brand reach out to me, but I'm not keen on that partnership just as a ambassador. I have to believe in your product. And if you're charging too much, I'm sorry, I won't be working with you, because if I won't pay for it, I can't endorse that product or service. And I think that's important because, sponsorship does drive the revenue model in terms of podcast, even if you don't go direct. And you've got to be careful around that because, some people reach out to me and sadly 90%, excuse me, 90% of people that reach out to me, they genuinely don't look real. It could be fraud. I don't know. So I'm very careful on that. And I might get a big sponsorship deal next week. I don't know. But I'm hopeful. I want to show up every day here, live, across my social media channels, because I think that's important to my own business strategy. That's my standard. I'll keep to that. I enjoy it anyway, so why wouldn't I? Right. I think that's almost the end of the show. I've spoken enough in brief about the podcast industry, some of the things I'm doing, some of the things that I think we need to lean on, if I can just summarize it. And one of the best things I can say is nail down on sponsorship when you understand if you're resonating with the audience, whether you're going on Spotify. I'm not doing Spotify. I've pod model, which is where you reach out to people, you bring guests on. I'll get to that level, but it's time consuming. For me personally, I'd rather go live every day and be like a radio show. Eventually I'll get guests somehow if I really want that. But at the moment, the way that the social media marketing platforms are working, live is the way to go. I'd recommend a live podcast show to anybody. And experiment. Always experiment with your new business strategy. You're going to have your fixed business strategy, but it needs to be a little bit more shakeable to your audience, and of course the different algorithms you have across social media platforms. We know this year, I think TikTok are launching 10-minute plus videos. I don't think that'll work. I believe it's 10-minute plus. I'm not sure. But you have to just see what worked for you, look at the data, go again, review it, and stay on target of your own business strategy and your marketing strategy. Anyway, it's time to get fit. It's time to shape up, people. So I'm going to do a very, very short, probably won't be 5 minutes, but I'll show you a couple of exercises that I've just made up and sitting in my chair, because we don't always have access to a gym, despite it being January, some good offers, but the cost of living crisis is real. And, sometimes we need to just do some body movement exercises that are really good for us. So if you'd like to join me, please do. Have some fun wherever you are. Grab your fist like this Okay, like this, and just push forward like this. All right, and back. Push forward and back, and forward and back, forward and back, and forward and back, forward and back. Okay, right, and then we're going up. Okay, I'm getting hot already. I'm getting hot. So maybe for me, I need to just work out. Make sure that you are you got the right kit on. So anyway, hands to the side like this and moving. So all we're doing, we're just doing some slow body movements, which are really good. I'm sitting down in the chair, and all I'm doing, and then I'm going to go up. Just follow my hand moves. Join in with this little short workout, and yeah, just keep going, and then going to the sides again. Okay, right, and you're sitting down. Right now, we're going front crawl. Right, this is what we do in the military for warm-ups as we run around in a circle, front crawl, and then back crawl. We keep going back crawl, right, going breaststroke. All right, so you get the idea, and you can repeat that again and again, and that can just be your warm-up, sitting down. My heart is racing already, and that's good. So it's a very short little micro workout. But you can build on that and get things like a water bottle and then start to just push up. Yeah. So if you want a bit more extra strength training, yeah, or even just your one arms like this, yeah, it's all there. So you've got to innovate when it comes to indoor workouts, which are really good. So anyway, that's it for me on today's show. Thank you for joining in. Tune in again tomorrow, those of you. If you haven't, don't follow me. Follow me. You'll be notified when I go live, which is 1 o'clock UK time. I'll try and keep this show. I think I've nailed it now. 20 minutes. Okay, so but for TikTokers, you'll get an extra 5 or 10 minute show. Anyway, adios. Have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, everybody else. Sayonara. Have a good day.